What's up, gang? So my King Diamond bonded stone came in from TripleB. It is a 1000 grit. I haven't really done anything with it short of just opening it up and looking at it. Comes with a, looks like a green silicon carbide conditioning stone, some instructions that I cannot read, and the stone itself. Now the stone itself has a very small amount of abrasive on it. This stone is not inexpensive. It's actually quite an expensive stone. Hopefully you can see how much abrasive is on there. It's like 1 millimeter, I believe. Tiny amount. The way I understand it though, these diamond stones wear extremely slow, so that 1 millimeter worth of stone should last quite a while. We are going to go ahead and sharpen Maxamet on this. I am going to dull this knife. I guess I'll just do it right here on the silicon carbide. It's been sharpened up to the 2500 grit silicon carbide Grit Manix stones and stropped on CBN. So now we will take it to this king stone. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit this surface with the silicon carbide. Sometimes these stones come with like a skin on top, and I want to try to knock that off. I don't know if diamond stones are the same way. I can definitely feel this writing is raised above the abrasive itself, so I want to knock that down a little bit. And since this comes with its own base, I'm going to lay my rubber mat, skid mat down. Hopefully keep it from sliding around all over. I'm going to run with it this way. Hopefully it'll work just fine. We'll see how it works. Now my Maxamet knife here has had quite a bit of sharpening done to it. It's starting to show. Either I'm going to need to start thinning out behind the edge, or look at replacing this guy, because it's starting to get into the thickness. That writing is still proud. I don't know if you can hear it. As I run the knife across it. It's still proud though. I pretty rarely grind to a burr on a 1K stone. I mean, there's been times where I do it, but it's just such a fine burr. It's really difficult to detect unless you just, you know, hammer at it for a while and really, you know, force a large burr. I think grinding on this stone with Maxamet, your best bet might be to cut the edge off, look for that reflection of light, and then grind both sides until you see that reflection disappear. Because grinding to a burr on this stone is going to be labor intensive, not to mention it can be quite difficult to see or feel. If that's going to be your goal, make sure you get some kind of magnification. That'll help out tremendously. Sharpening on the stone itself feels kind of like ceramic. There's not much feel to it. You don't feel a lot of grinding occurring. It's leaving a fairly nice polish as opposed to what the Grit silicon carbide stones have produced. I feel like I've already got a bit of an edge on there. I'm going to go just a little bit longer, see if I can get rid of a few more of those silicon carbide scratches. Got just the smallest amount of burr. I'm going to drop my angle real bad. I want to see how this stone sounds as far as feedback goes. So yeah, it's got some feedback to it. I don't like how this writing still sits proud. Every time I run across it, I feel like I'm just slamming into my apex. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and hit that again. It's probably not hurting a thing, but it's bothering the shit out of me every time I run my knife across it. I'm going very, very light pressure here. Just cleaning everything up. You saw there's already an edge on the knife. I could have already stopped, but I want to see how this thing polishes when you give it some time. I got my DLT XL Strop loaded with the Knife House 1 micron diamond spray that TripleB is also selling on his site. Now I got to use this stuff when he sent me his CBN stones to test out, and this was actually one of the only diamond products that I really liked. This stuff polishes pretty doggone good. I'm just going to do a standard 3-cut average test here. $111. $141. And $117. So the overall average came out to $123. It's fairly respectable. It's not as keen as I would like, and I've definitely had better edges on Grit silicon carbide. However, this is my first time using this diamond stone. My knife is starting to get pretty thick into the steel. It may just need to be thinned out. I mean, there's 1,001 variables that can cause variances in those tests. As I've said 1,000 times, you can't put all your eggs in that basket of that Bess tester. It doesn't give you the full picture of sharpness. It just gives you an idea of where you're starting at. So you can definitely see the scratches still from the 1K stone. The apex got pretty well polished coming off the strop. It didn't look like that before I hit the strop, so that got nice and polished. And there's a slight amount of reflectivity to it. I mean, it's nowhere near a mirror polish. Not bad for a 1K stone and a 1 micron diamond strop. If you wanted to go finer, you could always try the Sahara G8 silicon carbide stone, or even the Edge Pro diamond matrix stones. They come in 4K. That's the highest I've seen anyway. It does a really good job polishing. I just don't like the feedback of that stone. It feels like sharpening on an eraser. That's it for now. I'm going to play around with this stone a little more. What can I tell you about it at this moment? It feels like a ceramic stone, very hard. Seems to cut average speed. I would say it cuts about as fast as a King KDS 1K stone. Now keep in mind this is Maxamet. You know, if it cuts Maxamet at that rate, it would probably cut, you know, 154 cm a little faster. You know, things being relative, it's not a bad stone. Is it worth the price? Well, that's going to be up to everybody to decide for themselves. You get a tiny amount of abrasive, but again, they wear very, very slowly. At least that's what I understand. And they cut any steel that we have on the market currently. So you got to weigh the pros and the cons and decide for yourself if it's worth it. As I said, I'll continue to use this stone and make my own judgment once I've got a better understanding of it. If you guys have any questions or comments, as always, leave them below. I appreciate you watching. Y'all have a good one.